Hey guys, TheInvertedShadow here, and welcome to yet another Q&A video. Both Turkish and I are very happy for the questions that we've received, and we hope that you've been doing well this year. There are a lot of things we have in store, but with time as it is, we figured you guys might enjoy this. So let's get right into it. And we're going to start with the question that was, unsurprisingly, asked the most.
Are you planning to do more Elements of Insanity videos?
What gave you the idea to make the Elements of Insanity, and what are your inspirations for it?
Yes guys, I know it's been a while and I've been very inconsistent with it, but yes, Elements of Insanity videos are still being made and are on the way. Just again, there are other things that I want to do first that we shall explain further on. I've already explained my inspiration for the EOI in the past, so I don't see any reason to go on with this. Anyways, let us begin.
Are you excited for Splatoon 3 as much as I am?
Yes, very much so. I am super excited for Splatoon 3, and I know a lot of my friends also are.
Who are your favorite Nintendo characters?
Luigi and Waluigi. That's about it.
Are you aware of the hashtag change the channel situation? And if so, are you not going to use any channel awesome content?
Wasn't even aware that situation was a thing that I should be concerned about. And honestly, as much as I've heard that Channel Awesome has been circling the drain lately, I don't see any reason to worry about myself. I do still kind of like the Nostalgia Critic though.
I wonder, where does your iconic hat come from?
If you mean how was it made, it was modeled by my good friend Dazion. As for where it came story-wise, I'm afraid you're going to have to keep watching Untold Darkness to find that out.
Do you think silent protagonists can be compelling, given the right amount of writing?
If done correctly, I'd say yes, silent protagonists can work. Not every hero has to be incredibly vocal, of course.
What are your thoughts on 2021 so far?
Aside from the whole coronavirus thing still kind of driving me mad, I wouldn't say this year has been bad, for the most part. But we're only halfway through it, so who knows, maybe it can pick itself up. Gotta remain hopeful, after all.
Do you still plan to collab with Lizzie the Rotsicle 15 sometime in the future?
Alright, I'm gonna put my foot down on this because people evidently still aren't getting the hint that I really don't want to talk about this specific drama anymore. My answer, straight out, is no. There's no way I'm going to be collaborating with Claudes or anyone else involved in that Loot House drama in the future. Which sucks because out of all of them involved in the drama, Claudes is the one that I thought would be above all that, but I was unfortunately proven wrong, so there's zero chance that I will be doing anything with her ever again. I'm sorry. And before you bring out the argument that, oh, it was in the past, we need to move on from it, that's irrelevant. They groom children. There is literally nothing they can do to salvage their reputation at this point. And the fact that, you know what, whatever. My answer stands. Moving on.
Would you do a collab map for a song if you felt like it or asked to? If so, would you do it with Gmod or SFM?
If I could find a decent enough song to get enough animators to want to animate on, then yes, more than likely. And I would probably do it with Gary's mod, because that's what I'm more accustomed to. So who knows, we'll see.
Will you remaster any of your older videos if one of you just say F it?
I have, honest to God, thought about going back and remastering some of my older videos in my newer, current animation style, much like how I did with the first video of Kami's Petition. So, it could happen, but we'll have to see what happens in the future, given all the work I have to do still.
Will you put any of the Looney Tunes characters into your videos, especially since there's models of most of them on the workshops for SFM and Gmod?
That remains to be seen, but if I got an idea for any Looney Tunes videos, it could very well happen.
With the recent addition of Tracy and the double shadow walkthroughs of the Five Nights at Wario's series, are there any other particular guest and game combos that presently have your interest?
The first one that immediately comes to mind for me would definitely be with the Game Salmon. I would love to do something with him if he's interested. I believe one thing that comes to mind for me would be doing the new multiplayer mode that was added to Five Nights at Wario's 4. Again, if he's interested in doing that or anything for that matter, I would love to collaborate with him. And then of course you also have the obvious choice of doing something with Vanamelon like I did with that Fall Guys video a while back, because she is just fun to hang around, so who knows.
How many hours have you put into animating in Gmod?
At the time of recording this video, roughly over 17,000 hours. That That really says a lot, doesn't it?
Do you have any future ideas for Gmod collabs like you did in the past?
There was one idea that I mentioned in a previous Q&A that involved Wario and Rarer Fruit, and I really would like to follow through on that one. I know for a fact I also want to do a sequel to the Fortress Swim collab that I did long ago. So, definitely gonna be working on both of those.
In your opinion, what is the best sword? The Monado from Xenoblade Chronicles or the Master Sword from Zelda?
Well, being that I've played Zelda primarily over Xenoblade, I'm gonna go with the Master Sword. Just sticking with my guns here.
How did you meet ZE Pyromancers for the first time?
Oh boy, there's a story behind that. So I know for a fact the first of the Pyromancers that I ever came across was Akuago, because he actually used my character Rarer Fruit in one of his Luna and Wheatley videos, and I was over the moon about that. Then, sometime after that, I think roughly about a year after that, I was invited to a Man vs. Machine session in TF2 where the players were Kugawaden, Sherman's a Tank, Joe, and 2 other Pyromancers, Electric Star and Ellie the Creator. All of us had fun there, and then eventually I came across the Pyromancers group channel, and I was hooked on there. Honestly speaking though, speaking from personal experience, seeing all these guys and being on them on Twitch streams, I do want to join the Pyromancers, and I think a few of them feel the same way, but honestly speaking, I kind of worry I might overshadow the rest of the group, and you guys know me, I don't want to do that. I don't see myself as better than anybody, but long story short, that's basically how I came across the Pyromancers, so there you go, history lesson for you.
Since you have a lot of Team Fortress 2, Splatoon, and My Little Pony characters, will you also be adding Ninjala characters as well for the future?
Oh no.
Do you like Star Wars, and have you watched The Mandalorian, the last season of the Clone Wars, and the Bad Batch series?
I'm not too much into Star Wars, but I do respect the franchise for what it is. I would like to watch The Mandalorian, though. I've heard some very wonderful things about that series.
Which movies for 2021 and 2022 will you plan on watching?
I know for a fact I definitely want to see the second Sonic the Hedgehog movie, and that's really about it.
What do you predict for this year's E3?
No idea at all! I'm just gonna sit back and watch like anybody else, so yeah.
Something's very off with Ruby from Untold Darkness when Shadow and Umbra were telling your origin story. Is she gonna be alright?
Oh, she'll be fine. There's nothing wrong with Ruby at all. At all.
That's very convincing.
Will Papercut quit her job when she escapes from Paper and Ink? I think her boss is either crazy or just plain weird.
I could tell you what happens, but that would spoil the ending of Paper and Ink, and I don't really want to do that, so you'll just have to keep watching.
If your channel ended with a bang, what story would you make for it?
I'm honestly not sure, because I've never really thought that far ahead. I mean, I foresee myself animating these videos for quite some time now, so why stop now?
Who do you think is best, Pony?
Trixie, that's all there needs to be said.
How long does it usually take you to animate with Gmod and SFM?
For shorter videos, like say any collab entry that I've done, Fluttershy in the closet, or in general any shitpost video that I've done, they can take roughly a day or a couple of days at maximum. For any more complicated videos like Paper and Ink, Untold Darkness, Lyrish, or even, say, the Dream a Little Dream of Me reprise animation that I did recently, those can take at least a few months on end, mostly because I am a lazy bastard at times. But that's about it.
What gave you the inspiration to start animating with Gmod and eventually SFM?
I think I answered this one in the last Q&A video that I did, but really, my story for getting inspired to do Gmod stuff isn't that interesting, honestly speaking. I just saw other people doing Gmod stuff like, Rubber Fruit, DJY, GB7 Zone 7, the like, and I just wanted to try it myself, and the rest is history.
Why did you name your pony Yoshi Shadow Rush? On the subject of names, with the Inverted Shadow.
So naming Shadow Rush what he was honestly a slip of the tongue, and I didn't even realize until years later that Shadow Rush was actually the name of a move in Pokemon. Go figure on that one. As for my name, The Inverted Shadow, it's mostly having to do with my spiritual beliefs, no thanks to my aunt. That being the division and unity of light and darkness, which is where my insignia, the two-sided heart, comes into play. There's a bit of history lesson for you.
Out of all of the Dia game songs, which is your favorite? Or is there too many to choose?
way too many that I do indeed like, but I do adore Instruments of Cyanide. Now, if only I could find a way to animate that one.
Any thought for Disney animated shows such as The Owl House and Amphibia?
God damn it, you're reminding me that I really need to watch more shows like that. I've heard nothing but good things about stuff like Amphibia, The Owl House, OKKO, all that kind of stuff, and I've never even had the chance to watch any of it. I need to fix that.
How does it feel for Sony animated movies on Netflix such as The Mitchell vs. the Machine and the upcoming animated film The Wish Dragon?
And continuing the subject of shit that I still need to watch, yes, I really need to watch The Mitchells vs. the Machines. I've heard absolutely amazing things about that movie, and I've still not set aside time to watch it, so I'll have to fix that too.
Ever tried Metopia on a Nintendo Switch?
I know that it started its life on the 3DS, and it recently got ported to the Switch. I would love to play it, but I haven't gotten the chance to do so yet. Noticing a trend here?
Have you ever watched Satoshi Kon's animated classic, Paranoia Agent?
Yes, I have, actually. Long ago with my friend I'm Shadow 007. I've also, from Satoshi Kon, watched Millennium Actress, Tokyo Godfathers, Paprika, and of course Perfect Blue. So, I know the man can do some stuff, and may he rest in peace.
Any thought for the upcoming Loud House movie on Netflix? And, live action Christmas movie?
I kind of stopped watching The Loud House some time ago. I would like to try and catch up a little bit, but I don't know about the movies. Honest talk.
And if I could take a bit of seriousness, what if that cheesecake takes over your YouTube channel?
We don't speak of that rat around here.
What was the most annoying pose you tried to make during animating in Gmod with any character at all?
There are a lot of instances I've had in both Gmod and SFM where models have gone in a way that I don't really want them to, or just refuse to cooperate with me, so I'm afraid I can't really list just one, but do know that I have certainly had problems before.
Will the Lost Ones series play a part of Untold Darkness? If so, how?
It certainly will, and that is because a certain character from The Lost Ones actually plays something of a part in Untold Darkness, somewhat. But I can say no more on the matter.
What or who inspired you to make such smooth Gmod music videos such as Vinyl's Big Night and Monsters?
Firstly, smooth? I would argue that they aren't that smooth, especially Vinyl's Big Night, but that's just me self-doubting. As for why I made them, well, inspiration-wise, I'm just a guy that really loves music, and there's a lot more music videos that I want to do, so that's where they came from, I guess.
Out of the many memes in your treasure chest, which one is your overall favorite?
Honest to God, the running joke that started recently where Turk is my wife and Tracy is our daughter is just... I can't believe that the joke has gone on for this far and it still makes people laugh, so thanks everybody for making it possible. I'm sorry, Spy, but I'm afraid I love another man.
Who will be that man?
His name is Turkish Phantom, and I'm sorry, I couldn't keep the secret in any longer.
Oh god! Oh, still going with that, nice.
The truth come out. Does Bruno Mars is gay?
How come you never check? How come you never?
Turkish in the chat.
Oh my god!
How come you never take it?
You're getting closer and closer to 400,000 subscribers. How does it feel?
It still feels really weird that this many people can be watching my channel, but again, I'm forever grateful for each and every one of you, and I hope I can continue to entertain you for years to come.
What was your reaction to Splatoon 3 being announced?
Copious amounts of joy and excitement is the best way that I can put it, and I can't wait to see the final product.
What have you been doing to ease your mind during this pandemic? I need some pointers since my mental state has not been the best lately.
Honestly, my own mental state has tanked pretty badly from this whole coronavirus situation, so I don't really know if I'm the right guy to tell you what you could possibly do, other than to just keep with your friends, because friends will always help you no matter what.
I want to do a Q&A myself. However, this would be my very first one, and I have no idea where to start. Any tips or suggestions that you can give me?
Really just set clear boundaries for what kind of questions you want to be sent to you, and when you think you've had enough, then go right for it.
Which series of videos are you most excited to work on?
Without a doubt, Paper and Ink and Untold Darkness. I'm really excited to show you guys what I've got in store for the future, me and Turk.
Out of all of the animations and characters you've made, which ones are your favorite? What games are you and I Am Shadow planning on playing for Double Shadow Productions?
Most definitely going to continue with the Five Nights at Wario series, but we also do intend to go for Middle-earth, Shadow of War, and also the Monkey Island games, since we really badly need to get around to starting that series. And also we do intend to continue on with Overlord, since it's been way too fucking long. So keep an eye out for all of that.
Is Fluttershy's Mansion 2 still in production? I ask cause I really loved the first Fluttershy's Mansion, and I was super excited when I saw the trailer vid for Fluttershy's Mansion 2.
Yes, Fluttershy's Mansion 2 is still happening. Just again, I need to get a proper story structure going that I'm comfortable with before I start any form of animating.
Have you watched Death Battle? If yes, then what is your favorite episode?
I kind of just watch Death Battle sporadically nowadays since it doesn't really interest me that much, but if I did have to pick one battle that I really liked, I guess the Zoro vs. Erza battle was pretty cool.
Any favorite Steam games?
Gmod and SFM, I guess?
Why are you so stupid?
I don't know, Liv V. Why are you a bish?
Realistically speaking, once all the custom models are finished for Untold Darkness, how long do you think it will take to produce an episode for it from there?
I would like to say maybe it would take a little shorter time to get cracking on animating episodes for the future, but again, we also have to take into account waiting on our voice actors to get the audio that we need, so I can't give too much of a definitive answer on that.
How did you end up with magic from a demigod hat?
I literally have no idea at all. I guess that Chico girl really saw something in me, but I can't be sure.
As the Muddiverse is a place of many unusual and exotic animals, what would you pick as a pet?
I kind of always wanted to have a Gorgon as a pet. Don't ask why, I just kind of want one.
If you had the chance to leave a message to your best self, what would it be?
I think I'd probably say, you're young and dumb and you're doing really badly right now, but I promise you, years later, you're gonna be in a much better place.
What made you pick me as one of a handful of people making a cameo in the first episode of Untold Darkness?
Honestly speaking, I know I don't really commune much with you nowadays, but your loyalty and your, spirit to my content is honestly very admirable and entertaining, so hey, I really hope that you keep it up, dude.
Is Cammy's Descent still going?
Yes, it is. Believe it or not, she will be appearing sometime soon, but again, I cannot give definitive details. Just know that Kami's story will still be going on.
What are your thoughts on Generation 5 of My Little Pony?
I'm actually kind of excited for Generation 5. I know that people have their complaints about it, but honestly, I'm kind of looking forward to seeing how Generation 5 plays out.
Have you seen bots when you play Team Fortress 2 casual?
I mean, the only real thing I've done on TF2 as of late was play some custom man versus machine stuff, so really the only bots I've seen are the ones I've been slaughtering. That's about it.
What's your most hated thing to do when Gmod animating?
Lip syncing and walk cycles, without a doubt. I was going to say fight scenes, but I've been growing slightly more confident in how I've been animating those, so
Dumb question I thought of, but what happens when Tracy takes over your channel?
How about you not give her ideas, please?
Are the Modiverses connected to each other, or something like the same universe to each other?
Kind of, sort of, in a way. As we explained in the first episode of Untold Darkness, the void that Shadow is currently in is a gateway to many other worlds that are out there, so they're all connected in some way, I guess. Turkish can explain it a little better than I can.
Which of your previous videos or projects do you wish to make improvements on?
There are far too many old videos of mine that I would love to go back and reanimate and fix what was wrong with, so I can't give one single answer on this, but just know there are a lot of videos that I want to reanimate.
So if going off the information in this video correctly, Untold Darkness is meant to serve as a soft reboot to everything you've ever done? Or am I just misconstruing that?
Yes and no. The main intention that Turk and I had with Untold Darkness was to basically give my little story world some actual concrete established lore, which I never had before in any of my videos. This also means that character stories like Kami and the Elements of Insanity, and yes, even the Lost Ones in Paper and Ink, are all getting some proper rebooting as well. So, yeah.
Were you able to see last Saturday, Revenge of the Samedi? If so, what were your thoughts? The same goes for the red, the blue, and the ugly.
I have indeed watched Revenge of the Samedi, and honest speak, I thought it was a perfect send-off for JC Thornton's end of TF2 free content on his channel. As for the other video, I haven't watched it yet, but I might.
Considering everything that has happened in your 10+ year career, do you have any regrets?
Way too many of them. Far too many that I do not want to discuss on this video.
What's the process you go through when making a character?
There honestly really is no process. Just the idea comes to my mind, and if I think it's good enough, then the character is made. Not a whole lot to it.
What's the hardest thing you've had to deal with in your career?
Being lazy and unmotivated. Because nowadays, I'm constantly lazy and unmotivated, which royally sucks.
Are there any freaks made by others that you wish you either created or had a hand in creating?
This is actually a very funny question because something similar to this actually did happen. When my friend Brief Casey and I were doing that Gmod tennis of Derpy versus the Gang of 10 Greed, you might remember, I believe it was part 4 of that tennis, where Derpy encounters a rather odd-looking dental man. Believe it or not, Casey was inspired by how I portrayed that character that he ended up making that demo into his own TF2 freak, Scurry Scrumpy. So, another history lesson for you.
Have you thought about expanding on the characters of Inner Heart's other subjects like you did with Waka Scout in the Nightmare in Gmod series?
I very much do intend to do so, yes, but that will likely not be for a while. Turk and I have a lot in store planned for Kami's story now. I believe I've already shown us a little bit of it with the redesign of the Shadow Twins, Shadow Kami and Shadow Spyati, so just keep an eye out.
Which of your videos took the longest to make for asset allocation reasons? That is, the assets had to be ported from a third party or accepted to other games.
Shockingly enough, this question can be affixed to the next episode of Untold Darkness, since 2 models that we've needed for it, that being for Turk and what we're going to be using for Shiko, had to be ported from other means, or other games I should say, before we could start animating with them.
I teleported bread.
That's stupid.
Will TF2 freaks have more frequent appearances and greater influence in your videos like they did back in the day?
I do intend to try and do more stuff with both Ass Pancakes and Buddhist Murder Pyro at some time in the future, and yeah, I do still want to do more TF2 free content, so more than likely, yes.
Why did Shadow Rush leave Paper Cut in his world, since he knew that the place is filled with, shall we say, not so friendly beings?
So, minor spoiler for Chapter 3 of Paper and Ink. Yes, Rush did imprison Paper Cut in the video world, mostly just to protect his archives of work and his characters and all that. But even he realizes soon that that may not have been the best of ideas, as you will more than likely see in the future.
Who is your favorite TF2 freak, and what do you like about him?
I don't know why, but I've really grown fond of Souldyne over the days. Don't ask why, because I actually don't know. I just really like his design and how his freak character works.
If as pancakes, pennies, cupcake, piss cake or mule corn cakes, and soup cock pork pie all got into a huge brawl, what do you think will happen?
No clue at all. I am not the guy who runs TF2 freak fights, so yeah.
Have any fans' own content influenced you to use their creations in your own stories or content?
Ironically enough, it was actually my friend Witchy who helped with the redesigns of Shadow Kami and Shadow Spyani, so there is that much since he was so kind to help with that.
How many of your stories have been retconned for the Modiverse?
I can only confirm up front that Kami's story has been retconned in the wake of Untold Darkness. All the rest that is there are spoilers, so I really can't say anything else on the matter.
What gave you the idea for paper cut? And when was the day you looked at the top hat and went, I have ideas for this?
So creating Paper Cut, I honestly wanted to take a shot at making a quote-unquote original character, and yes, I succeeded, maybe? And as for the top hat question, well, again, Untold Darkness really has all the answers, so...
What got you into Splatoon and My Little Pony?
My Little Pony, I ended up just watching the episode Party of One way too many times to recount, and then I just graduated onto the other seasons and episodes, and I got hooked from there. Splatoon, I just genuinely enjoy playing the games. They are that fun.
What would you say has been the biggest hurdle for you during COVID-19?
Trying to keep mostly sane with this quarantine and the COVID vaccines and everything, it's been rough.
Will you be adding some Half-Life lore elements into your works, like the Combine, Vertigons, a weird version of G-Man, etc.?
Indeed we shall, but that will not be until Apocalypse rolls around, and that's gonna be a doozy.
If you were given the opportunity to do a crossover with Hell of a Boss, would you take it?
Maybe? I honestly don't know how Vivzy Pop's whole thing with Collabs works, so I honestly don't know.
What's your reaction on Vandermelon seeing Melanie from SMG4 on Twitter?
I honestly kind of wondered when she might notice that particular character, and I'm kind of curious to see where it goes, given the most recent interactions the two have had on Twitter. Though speaking of, that actually kind of ties into the next question.
How long have you been working with creators like Darwilstonator and Vandermelon?
Now Will, I actually met back in BronyCon all the way back in 2013, I think it was. I know it was one of the earlier BronyCons, but I actually ended up meeting him after the SFM Ponies panel, and we exchanged some pleasantries, and he voiced interest in wanting to do some voice acting for me, and, well, the rest is pretty much history. As for Vanna, I actually ended up meeting her through my other friend, Mindless Gonzo, since she had helped in one of his Pinkamena Tumblr dubs, and I asked her if she wanted to voice Princess Luna for one of the upcoming Elements of Insanity videos at the time, and again, our friendship kind of stuck from there.
Which season of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic does Elements of Insanity take place?
Right after Season 3, so Twilight is an alicorn and a princess, but before the first Equestria Girls film, so she never went to the human world, nor did Sunset Shimmer, nor did Trixie ever really apologize to Twilight.
What will you do next after Untold Darkness and the Elements of Insanity series are complete?
Haven't figured that out quite yet, but I do know there is a lot more that I want to do in the future, so keep posted.
Out of all the characters you have animated with Gmod, who was the hardest character to animate of them all?
Most, if not all, of the Five Nights at Freddy's and Equestria Girls models. Their bones and finger posing are just fucked sometimes.
Aside from My Little Pony, any favorite shows you've watched?
I've been watching a little bit of Bob's Burgers again recently, and I've really enjoyed that, and I also recently started watching Big Mouth, since I had my doubts on it, but I've been thoroughly entertained by that series, so will most definitely continue watching it.
Which software that you think is easy to do an animation? Gary's Mod or SFM?
Both of these softwares have their quirks and their pros and cons on animating in them, so really, it's really just a pick your poison kind of situation with which one you prefer to use.
Why is Trixie your favorite character?
Because she's best pony, plain and simple. But no, honest answer, I really just kind of liked her redemption arc, you know, from her apologizing in Season 3, all the way up to her appearance back in Season 6, I was just, oh, I freaking love that character.
If all of the Elements of Insanity characters were to get into a battle to the death, who would come out on top?
Fluttershy, probably. Don't ask why.
How many episodes are planned for Untold Darkness?
Roughly 7 or 8 episodes. Maybe 9 if we are not able to really fit everything in all at once.
What are your plans after you're finished with Untold Darkness?
Believe me when I say there is a lot more story to tell after Untold Darkness is done. You'll just have to wait and see for that.
What project would have to be your hardest to complete and why?
Vinyl's Big Encore. There is a lot I have planned for this and a lot more music that I want to use and so much more that I want to try that I couldn't do with Vinyl's Big Night, but it's going to take God knows how long to get it all done, so it's really going to be difficult.
What other games do you plan on streaming in the future?
Besides maybe some more Gmod and SFM work streams, I do want to try streaming some more Dead by Daylight in the future, since I recently got back into it and it's been pretty fun. But then again, also given the abundance of Steam games that I have in my library, thanks to generous donations and all that sort of thing, I have more than enough material for streams in the future, so we shall see.
Can I boop your pony on the nose?
Do you have any thoughts on JC Thornton's Freaks, since he moved on to wanting to animate cartoons and create cartoon models?
This is probably going to sound weird, but I actually think I prefer what he's doing now compared to his TF2 Freak stuff. Don't get me wrong, all of the stuff he did with his freaks, like Piss Keikol and Demo Samidi and all that other kind of stuff, that was entertaining, but I really am liking his SFM stuff. It's genuinely entertaining to watch, and the fact that he makes his own models for them is absolutely dedicated work, so I really hope that he keeps it up.
What is one of your favorite creature feature songs that comes to your head?
A Gory Demise, without a doubt. That one just slaps.
What is the longest you've sunk time into a single-player RPG, and in what game?
Elder Scrolls Skyrim, most notably. With the amount of content in that game and the mods that come with it, how could I not sink time into it to an extent?
What is the best horror game that scared the pants off you?
If we're talking recently played, probably either Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted or the Five Nights at Wario series. Those just really got me going. And that's it. That's every question we've gotten. If I skipped over anybody or ignored your question, I do apologize, but I still hope that you all were entertained by this little Q&A session. Turk and I are once again thankful for all the questions you all sent, and we hope that you enjoy what we have planned for the future. Until then, thanks for watching, Shadow out, and have a good day.